All right, guys, so we got a ton of great news to talk about as our Baltimore Ravens are closing in on the number one spot in the AFC North. We're going to talk about the AFC North playoff odds with the Baltimore Ravens winning the division after starting 1-5 as the Steelers are starting to slip. We're going to talk about the division. Also, Keaton Mitchell is expected to get even more playing time. We also have some interesting and concerning injury report updates with our rookie outside linebacker Mike Green, Justice Hill, and some other players. We're going to talk about injuries, the upcoming game against the Cleveland Browns, top performers so far, man, and much more Baltimore Ravens news. So welcome in to another episode of Ravens Reports. It's your guy Noah here with For the Flock. As always, bringing you guys our top 5 news reports and storylines coming out of our Baltimore Ravens today. At number 1, check it out. After the Baltimore Ravens have started 1-5 and the Pittsburgh Steelers were sitting, well ahead, 4 games ahead of the Baltimore Ravens. The Ravens now have a 61.9% to win the division. Pittsburgh dropped to 32.7. Now, here's the great news. If the Baltimore Ravens win on Sunday against the Cleveland Browns and the Steelers lose against the Cincinnati Bengals, which the last time they played, they lost. Guess what, man? The Baltimore Ravens would take first place in the AFC North. At number 2, let's talk about some bad news here. Rookie outside linebacker Mike Green popped up on the injury report with a ankle injury. Now, it was reported by Brian Wacker that he was limping and walking very gingerly. Now, the last few weeks, Mike Green has been getting better and better. His pass rush win rate has been increasing. You saw him knife through traffic and absolutely blow up Aaron Jones in the backfield against the Vikings for a tackle for loss. He's getting better against the run as a pass rusher. The Ravens pass rush in general had its best performance of the entire season. Draymond Jones had multiple pressures. Mike Green had multiple pressures. Malachi Starks continues to improve. A lot of the rookies, Teddy Buchanan, right? In fact, let's talk about some of these top grades. The top grades for the defense was Malachi Starks at 91. Man, back-to-back games with interceptions for the rookie continues to get better. His coverage is getting better. His instincts is getting better. This first-round pick is looking like a lot of people were down, early on, but Kyle Hamilton took some time to come around and get really good. So Malachi Starks, man, back-to-back games above 90 PFF grades. Back-to-back games with interceptions. We're seeing the instincts, we're seeing the intangibles and tangibles lining up on the field. His leadership, the calls that he's making. This guy, Kyle Hamilton, Malachi Starks, and Nate Wiggins under contract for the long-term foreseeable future. The next 4 years is great news for our Baltimore Ravens, man. These are the young, elite defensive core of DBs here. Travis Jones, 82.9, great game for him. Teddy Buchanan continues to stack, man. He's become a great starter next to Roquan Smith. Really pops people hard, 77.7. Kyle Hamilton at 75.4, and Chidobe's actually a top 20 graded corner in the NFL right now, 30 years old, on a small contract, man. Shout out to Eric Takasa for that signing. On offense, it was Zay Flowers, Kohler, Lamar, Justice Hill, and Tyler Linderbaum. Speaking of Justice Hill will actually, going back to the injury report here, he's not practiced so far this week. So he's in jeopardy of missing this upcoming game, the toe injury. So if that's the case, more snaps for our guy Keaton Mitchell, who, by the way, Todd Monken said regardless, he deserves more snaps. We know that, man. He's averaging, 8 to 10 yards per carry throughout the games he's been getting. If Justice Hill is out, great. I want to see him get more snaps. But even if he's not out, I still want to see Keaton Mitchell get more snaps, man. He's so explosive and a great playmaker. Todd Monken said, I think Keaton deserves the opportunity to play more. I've been saying that all year. I never thought he should have been a healthy scratch. He's just too good, too explosive, man. He has the potential and the talent of being a Pro Bowl running back if he were to have the opportunities, in my opinion. By the way, he shared on Instagram, he said, it's okay if you hit rock bottom because that rock that's at the bottom is Jesus Christ. I love when players with platforms use it for their faith and they're bold about their faith. Man, you guys know this is a Christian channel. Jesus Christ saved my life. And anytime I get an opportunity, when I see one of these players glorify God, I always bring that up because what he did in my life, man, is night and day difference. I'm not the same person I was a few years ago. So shout out to Keaton Mitchell. I also hope to see him get more carries on Sunday. So going on with the injury report, let's take a look here. Oh, and sorry, I know I'm bouncing all over the place, man. I'm just excited. Malachi Starks over the last 2 games, 92.7 PFF grade, only 2 receptions allowed for 10 yards, 2 interceptions, and a 16.7 passer rating allowed. How about Malachi Starks, the rookie, coming into his own, man, starting to process stuff a whole lot quicker. Man, I'm excited about this safety duo we have. Okay, back to the injury report. Rashad Bateman was wearing a walking boot after his high ankle sprain against the Vikings. He said he doesn't expect to miss too much time, but that's a guy that could be in danger of missing on Sunday, as well as Justice Hill and possibly, Mike Green. Rashad Bateman has been one of the most consistent red zone threats, and I'd like to see him get more targets in general. Mike Green's probably our best pass rusher right now, most consistent the last few games. Maybe behind Draymond Jones, he could be the second best. So some key players there, and then Justice Hill. I'm excited to see Keaton Mitchell get more opportunities. So it'll be interesting to see who replaces Marlon. Are they going to leave Keon Martin to start in the nickel? Or are they going to bring Kyle to the nickel and then bring Chidobe and Wiggins on the outside? How do they want to do it? Is TJ Tampa going to get more playing time? So it'll be interesting to see how the Ravens roll at the corner position. But I'm excited to see how they respond. I think they still have the players to get it done. And then Lamar, he had some knee soreness on Wednesday, didn't practice, but he was a full participant Thursday. And then Isaiah Likely was full. Keaton Mitchell full. Malachi Starks full. So the main ones here, the main concerns, like the big contributors, I'll say, is Marlon Humphrey, Mike Green, and Rashad Bateman. But the good news is, man, the last time that Lamar Jackson played these Cleveland Browns, he dished up 4 passing touchdowns despite that pretty potent pass rush they have there with Myles Garrett. By the way, Lamar Jackson, when pressured this season, has the highest passer rating at 109.5. Also, Lamar Jackson continues to write the history books, man. Out of all of the quarterbacks in NFL history to start 100 games, check this out. Lamar Jackson sits 4th all-time NFL history behind Patrick Mahomes, Tom Brady, and Roger Staubach in wins in the first 100 starts, man. That is so impressive, man. Talk about legacy and the history that he continues to write, man. He also right now is on track to have one of the again in back-to-back seasons, one of the highest passer ratings in NFL history. So Lamar Jackson, I'm excited. Hopefully we can get another 4 passing touchdowns against these Cleveland Browns on Sunday. At number 5, one of the biggest reasons the Ravens are still favored to be one of the top contenders in the AFC. We're going to talk about what Stephen A. and some other people had to say, but one of the biggest reasons is obviously Lamar Jackson coming back healthy. But not only that, the defense is really starting to turn around. It's been pretty much night and day since Lohi Gilman was acquired from the Chargers. Now, that move right there has had so much significance, but it's not just that alone, but it was the fact that Kyle Hamilton got to move around and blitz, and then other guys started to play better, complementary football. Coverage was stickier. The pass rush was getting better. Players were improving. They also got healthier, right? They got a bunch of guys back that were injured. Travis Jones, Chidobe. So it's a combination of all these things. But Stephen A. talks about teams that can win the AFC. Was asked about the Bills, the Chiefs, the Ravens. Obviously, the 3 best powerhouse teams in the AFC over the last few years, really since 2019. These teams have been the teams in the AFC that have really been consistent, dominant, getting the number 1 seed, winning their division consistently, and dueling it out in the playoffs. However, Stephen A. says, out of these teams, the Ravens, he's got his money on, man, because it would be different this year, playing with house money, not coming back from 1-5, just playing free and loose, man. But here's what he had to say. Take a listen.
Who is more likely to go on a playoff run? I'll go to you first here, Stephen A. Is it the Chiefs, the Bills, or the Ravens?
I'm gonna go with the Baltimore. Let's go.
Baltimore Ravens. You know, listen, I'm not ruling out anything with the Chiefs because that's Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid over there, doggy. Obviously, Rashee Rice is back. Thornton's there. You know, Xavier Worthy, Travis Kelce. We get it. We know who they are. But to start out 1-5 and to come back and end up winning the AFC North and being in a position where now it's an entirely new season and you're playing with house money. And for Lamar Jackson, you got to remember, the Baltimore Ravens have been pretty elite for the most part with Lamar Jackson with him being there, two-time league MVP, runner-up a couple of more times. You got King Henry there in the backfield. You win the AFC Championship game a couple of years ago, blah, blah, blah. But this year, to start out 1-5, to be considered left for dead, for noise to be being made about John Harbaugh, and is it time for a new voice with them, etc. For them to have a god-awful defense and to go from giving up 30 a game to giving up 13, for their defense to suddenly look formidable again, for Lamar Jackson to come back, for Derrick Henry to not be fumbling the football, and for them to resurrect themselves and to get to the playoffs. If that happens, I think it'll be one of those situations as you look, Doggy and Swagoo, at the AFC and you think about Kansas City, Denver, the Chargers, the Colts, the Patriots, etc., and all of a sudden we've been talking about all of these teams all these years. It's one of those things where you're almost, I don't want to say it literally because it's not the literal with Harbaugh and Lamar Jackson, but you're almost playing with house money. It's a foreign position for the Baltimore Ravens to be in if indeed they ascend to the postseason. Almost like we ain't supposed to even be here considering how bad we started off. And I think playing under those conditions would be very, very unique and foreign to the Baltimore Ravens. And as a result, I think with the talent that they have, they would be an incredible threat. I would have to go with them as the answer to this question.
I understand.
The Baltimore Ravens are sitting at 4-5 right now. And after everything they have been through, they have a healthy Lamar Jackson. He looks good. A motivated team. We're not talking about them. This might be the scariest team in the NFL moving forward.
So an opportunity, man, for the Baltimore Ravens to get another win. It would be 4 straight, all right? Take the first place in the AFC North if Cincinnati beats Pittsburgh. So a lot of implications this week. Before we know it, we'll actually have a game against Pittsburgh, and that'll go a long way in determining the division as well. So, man, I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. Smash the like button if you got any value out of today's content. Let me know all of your thoughts in the comment section below, and we'll see you in the next video.
When he wasn't looking, he ran me over.